Every year on the 23rd of July, Papua New Guinea observes Remembrance Day, a solemn national occasion dedicated to honoring the brave men and women who served our country in times of war and remembering those who made the ultimate sacrifice for peace and freedom. Today, flags fly at half-mast, rich are laid at memorials. The haunting sound of the last post fills the air as the nation falls silent in remembrance. It is a day not to celebrate war, but to honor courage, not to glorify conflict, but to remember the price that was paid so future generations could live in peace. On this Remembrance Day, we pay tribute to soldiers who fought on our soil, the Papua New Guineans who answered the call to serve, and the ordinary villagers whose extraordinary acts of kindness became part of the history. This is their story. When World War II began in 1939, it was a conflict fought in different parts of the world, but everything changed in 1942 when the war spread across the Pacific. Japanese forces advanced rapidly, capturing territory throughout the region. One of their most important victories was the capture of Rabaul in East New Britain, which became a major military base. Soon, Papua New Guinea found themselves on the front line of one of the most significant campaigns of the Second World War. The country's rugged mountains, dense rainforests, winding rivers, and remote villages became the battlefield where the future of the Pacific would be decided. Some of the fiercest fighting of the Pacific War took place right here in Papua New Guinea. Along the rugged Kokoda Track, soldiers fought through mud, steep mountain ranges, tropical disease, and relentless enemy attacks. Every step tested their strength, determination, and courage. At Milne Bay, Allied forces achieved a historical victory, stopping a Japanese landing and inflicting Japan's first major defeat on land during the Pacific Campaign. Heavy fighting also took place at Buna, Gona, Sanananda, Wewak, Bougainville, and many other parts of Papua New Guinea. Thousands of soldiers lost their lives. Countless others returned home carrying the physical and emotional scars of the war. But this story is not only about soldiers. It is also about the people of Papua New Guinea. When wounded soldiers could no longer walk, local villagers stepped forward. They carried injured men through thick jungle, crossed flooded rivers, climbed dangerous mountain tracks, and cared for complete strangers with compassion and dignity. Many risked their own lives to save others. Australian soldiers affectionately named them the Fuzzy Wuzzy Angels, a title that has become one of the greatest symbols of friendship, humanity, and selfless service in our nation's history. Their courage reminds us that heroes are not always found carrying rifles. Sometimes heroes carry hope. World War II left deep scars across Papua New Guinea. Villages were destroyed. Families were forced to flee. Food gardens disappeared. Communities lived under the constant fear of bombings and fighting. The war touched almost every corner of the country. When peace finally returned in 1945, Papua New Guinea began rebuilding. But the memories of those difficult years would never be forgotten. Even today, abandoned airfields, bunkers, shipwrecks, and war memorials stand as silent reminders of the sacrifices made on this land. That is why every 23rd of July, Papua New Guinea pauses to remember. Remembrance Day is more than a public holiday. It is a promise that the courage of those who served will never be forgotten. A promise that these sacrifices of the fallen will continue to inspire future generations. And a reminder that peace is precious and must never be taken for granted. As we stand together on this day, 23rd of July, let us remember every soldier who never returned home. Let us honor every Papua New Guinean who served with courage. Let us never forget the Fasiwasi angels, whose compassion saved countless lives and strengthened the bonds of friendship between nations. May their sacrifices continue to remind us that freedom is never free, peace is worth protecting, and the lessons of history must never be forgotten. To those who served, to those who sacrificed, to those who gave everything, we remember you, lest we forget.